What is a vehicle in the zombie apocalypse that is overlooked? Bicycles. When we are deep into the zombie apocalypse and fuel is hard to come by, you can probably still outrun, outpedal, an undead creature. I have always thought this. You won't run out of gas. They can go almost anywhere, easy to maintain, and probably really easy to find. Plus you could pull one of those stroller things behind it full of supplies. Walking Dead maybe, but World War Z, or 28 weeks later? Question mark? Those fuckers run. A razor scooter. Now hear me out. 1. You're definitely faster than walking speed without needing to exert much effort. 2. It's easily carried when you reach stairs or terrain that can't be scooted in. 3. It doubles as one of the most deadly weapons in history. One swing and either that zombie or you is dead. 4. Your sketches can light up when you kick to speed up, making you perfect zombie bait. 5. No gas needed. 6. No complex parts that break down. 7. Environmentally friendly. 8. You can do sick tricks and grinds. You can also use it as a torture weapon. If you find any bad humans, just get them, flick it and annihilate their shins. Double bonus, now they can't run and fear zombie chow while you flee. Boats. Survive on an old private island, my dude. Just take your damn boat, plus any diesel power, since the gas for those will probably be easier to find. The problem is, unless your island is self-sustaining, you're going to be doing supply runs way too often. And that means going to shore. 40% of the US population live on or near the shore. Globally too. 4 billion people live within 60 miles of oceanic coasts. That's a ton of Zeds to get through every time you need supplies. Not to mention, if you go by World War Z, you'd have to install a whole lot of netting around the island and have people occasionally go out and clean them out. Because otherwise you're just waiting for a large group of zombies to meander out of the water and devour everyone for living in luxury. One cause of death by zombie is lax safeguards and security. You always see some semi-truck covered in armor and barbed wire, but that's just more stuff for zombies to grab onto. What you really need is a looted up Volkswagen Beetle, self-lubing Beetle. An aardvark mine clearing vehicle, 3 meter wide flail with 72 chains with a couple options for the end of the chains. Spins at 300 RPM and would turn everything in its path to a fine mist. Man, if you could find one of those and a decent supply of diesel, literally nothing could stop you. I was thinking a combine or other farm vehicle like that, but they would eventually get jammed up from the body parts. Not the aardvark though. The speed of the flails and the sheer power they produce would just puree anything. You could even use it as a brush clearer in a pinch. Besides that, they are IED proof essentially, so you would be safe from people as well. Great answer. I'm not sure if you'd consider a horse a vehicle, but a horse would definitely be a great way to move around. Especially if you pick the right horse. They can travel big distances for days on end. Some breeds don't require that much food, and it's not food you would be eating anyways. They will know long before you do if someone or something is nearby and is a potential danger. They're almost certainly faster than a zombie, and they are great company. While I agree a horse would be helpful, there are a few things to keep in mind. 1. Horses need companions. Usually other horses. It depends on the horse, but most need at least one other horse around, since they are herd animals. This is easy to solve, since you'll probably be in a group during a zombie apocalypse anyway. 2. You can't just jump on a horse and gallop off into the sunset. While an experienced rider will have no troubles, it can be hard to learn how to ride a horse. There are a lot of things you need to keep in mind when riding. Posture. How fast is my horse going? Where do I want to go? Are my reins the right length? And learning all of it on the fly without an instructor would probably be pretty difficult. 3. There are risks with riding. When riding, there is always a chance something could spook the horse and it will freak out. Even if you are an experienced rider, you could still get bucked or thrown off if you don't react quickly, and even if you aren't hurt by the fall, there's a chance the horse may accidentally step on you. And if it doesn't step on you, then it's probably running away and you'd have to catch it. But like I said, I think a horse would be a great companion during a zombie apocalypse if you know what you're doing. The best kind of horse would be the city police horses that are trained to be around crowds and can handle noises like fireworks without spooking. Canoe. Reliable. Able to navigate lakes, rivers and streams. If you have a good anchor line, you can sleep offshore. They make folding canoes, so you could totally pull it around with your bike and cart. A blimp or zeppelin. You can stay afloat for weeks, travel over land and water, and have enough storage for things such as land vehicles, plenty of supplies, and room for people. Only downside is that most commercial blimps have to come down at some point to be maintained, but chances are you can find a relatively safe place to do so. Oh man. Now I'm going to be suspicious of anyone lost at a modern Origin airship camp. Eddie. They might know something is happening before it does. Oh yes. Any vehicle as long as you add lube on the surface. Hear me out. Vehicles with spikes or cool other stuff that makes it tanky or destructive are very cool, but eventually zombie corpses get stuck and provide a surface for other zombies to grab onto. Eventually they will overwhelm in numbers and get in the vehicle, transforming you into a zombie. But if you have lube, they will always slide off the surface, and even if somehow you get zombie clogged, the lube on the corpse will still make it virtually impossible for other zombies to grab. Bonus. Oil is expensive and dangerous when hot or fire. Lube however is cheap, and you can be sure almost every household have a bottle giving you a vast supply of it. Also can be used for sex with whoever you have on your team. Totally a middle-sized yacht. 33 foot with a fishing line and you are sorted. If you leave a line out when sailing about, you get a fish with no effort. Pirates. The lesson in every zombie movie is that the zombies aren't the real enemy. Other humans are. Zombies ain't sailing boats, so that's a big red flashing light for come steal my shit. But you're not wrong either. So have an upvote. The ocean is far bigger than people understand. Europeans are amazed by driving across America. The ocean is much more vast. Even now you never see anyone when ocean sailing. Just horizon. Depends on if we're going by movie rules or being realistic. By movie rules. A fire truck. They're big and are raised up off the ground. The cabin is big enough to convert to a small living area. As long as you get the right one, it'll have a large water drum, so you don't have to worry about clean water. And you've got tons in extra storage on the outside compartments. This only works well with movie rules, because you won't run out of gas. Realistically, a large pontoon boat, they can have a second floor and can be longer than 2 cars, and they can be moved by rowing, so you don't need an gas. Other than size, they're basically a floating steel plate. You can build it into a self-sustaining shelter, and they work in both deep and shallow water. So as long as you take it into deep enough water that they can't stand in it, the zombies won't be able to reach you. Probably a lightship, lighthouse, or a landing craft with guns. Thing is, sailboats are nice, but you do need fuel for the generators and have some knowledge of sailing boats. They also don't carry much potable water. Lightships can wait at anchor for weeks. You have many vantage points for fuel runs, or if you can figure it out, build a desalination plant. Landing crafts may require diesel, but they can land on islands and beaches. Easy to fuel, carry plenty of water, and yes, you can easily protect yourself from outside intruders, because watertight doors and hatches can be locked. Downside, you need to learn some basic engineering to survive, as well as other things. Electric vehicles. Gas goes bad eventually. So do batteries. Plus these kind of batteries would be hard to replace. Also, without a charging place you're screwed. Gas starts to go bad in 3 months. You'd be able to go years of hard use before the battery's health drops enough to really matter. As for charging, more and more people are getting their own solar arrays or wind generators. You could find one of those setups and make a base there. Even if the power grid is knocked out, you'll have decent access to power. You could probably even fashion a mobile setup if you don't want a permanent base. Snowplows. I've never seen anyone drive a snowplow or even truck with plow attachment in a zombie apocalypse movie, but it'd easily wipe out hordes of zombies. Canada will never have a zombie problem. I have recently returned to Wisconsin, and oddly enough I find comfort in this. Try-ines. Started this as a shitpost, but now I realize you could absolutely fudge sugar up with a tray. If it's an apocalypse and the average person is going to die, I might as well die in style. That is, on a sick ass locomotive. Close bracket. Pros. You can carry tons of stuff. Maybe even make it a mobile base, as long as the tracks are clear. You can fortify it. Weld certain cars shut for emergencies. Carry around livestock. Heavy freight. Tons of water which is heavy. Something on the track. Choo choo motherfucker. Trains are neat. Loud F. You could use it to lure a horde of zombies into a trap or towards bandit camps. Or you could drive past other people's settlements with a zombie horde behind your train. The zombies will attack the settlement. You can come back later and clear out the zombies and take what's left of the settlement. Especially in America, tracks can run through some rural places where there are fewer zombies. You can stop the train somewhere isolated and you still have a big metal base that's technically still a vehicle. Did I mention trains are neat? Zombies climbing on. You can detach cars and come back later or have your crew dispatch them as you go. You don't even need guns. Just big spears. Stopping is especially loud. You can roll up on a town. Any zombies in the area will come to you. You can take them out from the safety of your big metal fort. Then you can get what loot you can from the town. If someone is bitten and dies, they are now contained in a big metal box and you can deal with it safely. Depending on how successful this is, you could restore more tracks or even trains later and basically be the Cornelius Vanderbilt of zombie slayers. Cons. Where are you going to find coal? This isn't Victorian England. Loud F. Stopping will attract zombies, so if you need to stop the train for any emergency you will have to deal with zombies in the emergency. Electric trains will be useless without power. Clearing tracks of other trains will be dangerous. Then you'll have to deal with overgrowth if you decide to run it even a month or two after the apocalypse. Then you'll have to keep it that way. If you hit a zombie and don't destroy the head you could end up dragging a dismembered zombie around. It may even still be caught by the time you stop where it can still attack you. You're gonna need a decently sized group, which means more room for error. Train to abuse in any one. You will have to maintain it. Deal with rust on the train or on the tracks. Eventually you'll no longer be able to move it, so you better like where it stops. For the last time, bandits can put mines on the tracks and pull the last train heist in human history. I think it goes without saying that you're really only limited to where the rails are. You can't just Tokyo drift on ice like you're in the Polar Express. You are now the leading contributor to global warming on the planet. Yeah. Train to Busan is a reason why you do not want to train in an apocalypse. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.